Hearts broke on Saturday when Princess Catherine bravely revealed to the world she's battling cancer. And since then, world leaders have been among millions of people who've sent their best wishes to the Princess of Wales. Joining us now is royal commentator Josh Rom. Josh, great to speak with you again. Since Princess Catherine revealed that she's undergoing chemotherapy, we've seen celebrities apologise for engaging in the controversy around her. Finally, it seems like the world is doing what we should have been doing in the first place and just leaving Princess Catherine alone and just offering her support. What's the latest on her condition?
I mean, Gabriella, did I or did I not say on this very programme that it was time to lay off Kate, didn't I?
You did. You did lay off Kate.
And this is the thing, you know, I also said about her marriage to Prince William, how that was strong, despite intense speculation from plenty of late night hosts over in the US, unfounded speculation regarding a previous rumor back from 2018 or 2019. You know, we know now what she has, and she cleared up speculation. But more details are kind of emerging from the way in which she revealed the news, because of course she revealed the news that she has a type of cancer. Again, like His Majesty, we don't know exactly what type of cancer it is, but she revealed the news in an unprecedented video statement. This is unlike anything that the royal family have ever done before. And I think one of the reasons is if she revealed the news in just a written statement like His Majesty the King, even though His Majesty the King has been pictured, people would have, because of the photo controversy, because of the Mother's Day photo controversy, because of the blurry video released by The Sun and TMZ, there were always going to be questions. So it almost felt like Princess Catherine's hand was forced, in that she was forced to reveal the news in this incredibly personal and intimate video. I mean, it was, as statements go, as appearances go, it was absolutely perfection. Like, she did not leave anything off the table except the type of cancer that she has, and she's entitled to keep that private. But that statement was incredibly raw, incredibly emotional. But what I think it's important to note is the tones of optimism that she said in her statement. Now, we know that she said in her own words that she was having preventative chemotherapy treatment, and she was waiting to fully recover from her abdominal surgery operation to start that treatment. But the words that really struck me were not just the fact that she said Prince William, her husband, has been such a source of strength and comfort, but actually when she was talking about revealing the news to her three young children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, but she said the words to reassure them, I'm going to be okay, and that I am healthy, and that she's focusing on her recovery in all aspects of her life, from her health to her spirit. So I think, you know, what we're seeing from Princess Catherine from that original statement is there are tones of optimism there that we can look at. And that's, I think, we're starting to see more optimism from the royal family. We know that His Majesty plans to attend a service on Easter Sunday alongside Her Majesty the Queen and other members of the royal family. Now, what we do know about King Charles, I've had sources tell me that they're not as worried about Princess Catherine as they are for the King. Now, they don't expect anything to come in imminently. However, we've seen pictures of the King. He's in good spirits. But of course, he is an old man. It seems as though that maybe the treatment is having an effect on him, as it would do, as is natural. And let's be honest, he is an old man. Old men's or just older bodies won't have the bounce back factor that younger bodies, even middle-aged bodies, would have. So of course, treatment like this was always going to have an effect on the King, even though it is outpatient treatment, even though he's not staying in hospital, he's not having extended stays in hospital. This is, of course, going to have an effect on His Majesty. So my sources aren't saying that it's anything imminently to worry about. And we know from his own statement, from palace sources, and from what we're hearing that he wants to get back to work as well, that he's raring to go, that he's getting frustrated, not so much with the treatments, but the fact that the treatments are keeping him away from front-facing duty. So I think we're starting to see a real breakthrough of optimism here from the royal family at a time of crisis.
Yeah, and it is such a difficult time for the royal family, but I tell you what, Princess Catherine is an inspiration, bravely revealing to the world that she's going through this cancer battle, and hopefully that is the end of those wild conspiracy theories that were out there and just consuming the internet. But let's discuss
I will
Prince
just
Harry.
say,
Yes?
but I was going to say, before you move on, unfortunately, it's not the end of those conspiracy theories, because we're still seeing conspiracy theories that that the video was somehow AI and that the daffodils in the background weren't moving correctly. And I mean, I've had some people go so stupid. I've seen some people go, "Where's her mic?" Well, like soap operas in the UK, you don't see actors wearing lapel mics. It's filmed mostly with a boom mic. So, I mean, it's just some of these conspiracy theories. I will say, it frustrates me, because it's almost the fault of the palace, because unfortunately, because they also haven't released the original Mother's Day shot, there is still that element of guessing, and yes, they're being as transparent as they can be, and as clearly as transparent as the royal family want them to be, despite the fact, absolutely and fairly so, that they're of course allowed a degree of privacy. But it just seems like whatever happens, nothing will be enough for these absolute deranged conspiracy theorists online, and it's incredibly aggravating. And imagine if we're feeling like this, imagine what the royal family are feeling like this. We know from sources that that the Prince and Princess of Wales were absolutely devastated by the speculation into their marriage, because as we now know from her own statement and my sources and other sources as well that have spoken out publicly, that could not have been further from the truth. So it just seems like whatever they do, unless she was at this point, it seems as though, unless she is appearing live in a TV studio, completely live, completely unedited, that only then, and even still, I'm sure then even conspiracy theorists will
Even
drag
then,
something.
it won't be enough. And some of the theories out there are just so bizarre, and it's quite sickening, really, to be honest. But I do agree with you that the palace really has to take some blame and some responsibility for this, as they really handled the Mother's Day photo so badly. And that's when everyone right around the world felt like they were being lied to. And so they still have not released that original Mother's Day photo. I think we've well and truly moved on from then, but I think all our support needs to be behind Kate, and the fact that there are still theories flying around out there is just absolutely insane. But let's talk about Prince Harry. He's been mentioned in court documents relating to allegations Sean Diddy Combs sexually abused multiple people. A $30 million lawsuit brought by record producer Rodney Jones claims that Diddy's affiliation with high-profile people, such as Prince Harry, gave his actions legitimacy. Now, the American hip-hop mogul, Combs, has been raided by authorities in relation to the allegations, and there is no suggestion that Prince Harry was involved in any of Sean Combs' alleged wrongdoing, and Mr. Combs has also denied all allegations. Josh, can you talk to us about how Prince Harry has been dragged into this?
So it is a $30 million lawsuit, as you said in the link there, by the producer Rodney Little Rod Jones against Diddy. And I got some of the text here. They say that guests were drawn to alleged sex trafficking parties due to, quote, access to celebrities such as famous athletes, political figures, artists, musicians, and international dignitaries like British Royal Prince Harry. That's what the court documents say. Now, Prince Harry is not named as a defendant in this case. He is also, it is a 73-page document. These court documents are 73 pages. Prince Harry is literally only named just this once. There is absolutely no suggestion of wrongdoing by Prince Harry. He's not a defendant. What we know about past affiliations, we know that Prince William and Prince Harry previously met Diddy, as well as just now disgraced rapper Kanye West in 2007 at a post-concert party where they thanked all of those that took part in the Concert for Diana benefit that took place at Wembley Stadium on the 1st of July 2007. Now, that would have been Princess Diana's 46th birthday, and the 31st of August that year would have marked 10 years since her tragic passing back in 1997 at the Alma Tunnel in Paris. We don't know if Prince Harry has had any contact or any affiliation with Diddy whatsoever since that time. There is a picture circulating on the internet of Prince Harry being pictured with Diddy as well as Kanye West. So I think he's been dragged into this. I think this is unfortunately death by association here. The fact that he's named is a big thing. But as I said, he's not a defendant. He hasn't been accused of wrongdoing. But one can't help but wonder, because, and I say wonder, I don't want to speculate into any of this case. I mean, one can't help but wonder what Meghan Markle would be feeling about this. Meghan Markle being the feminist that she claims to be on her official website, bearing in mind she's about to launch, or she has launched, a lifestyle brand at the time where the royal family are in crisis. But one can't help but wonder what she would think, because she claims to be such a feminism. Her Archetype podcast was a feminist podcast. It's all about female empowerment, which, by the way, is a good thing. And I'm absolutely not rolling my eyes or turning my nose up whatsoever. I am a feminist at heart as well. Any sort of female empowerment, I think, is always an amazing thing. But one can't help but wonder what she would be thinking about this. The fact that Prince Harry, at least, bearing in mind, okay, he's mentioned once in this, are not accused of any wrongdoing, but the fact that he has been pictured with a rapper that has been accused of sexual abuse and sex trafficking allegations he denies, as well as taking a picture with someone who is also accused of being a virulent anti-Semite as well. This is obviously not the best look for Prince Harry. And that's the thing. I think it's not quite Prince Andrew level. This is not Prince Andrew level allegations, not by any stretch of the imagination. But this is once again the royals being mentioned in a high-profile lawsuit. The last time we've seen this was Prince Andrew mentioned, of course, in the lawsuit with Virginia Giuffre, a lawsuit that he settled, a lawsuit, by the way, in which he did not take or admit to any liability, and he still to this day disputes any and all allegations of wrongdoing. I think that's also important to state. But I think this is just, it's not necessarily the best look for the royal family at this time, when we see the Princess of Wales and His Majesty the King both going through cancer treatment. It's not necessarily the best look. And I also think after the whole Prince Andrew saga, and we're about to relive that in the brand new Netflix movie Scoop, that the royals, the lesser royals, might need to be a little bit more careful going forward with maybe who they are associating with.
Yep, you make a great point, and it will be interesting to hear what Meghan Markle thinks of all this. Not sure if we'll get the answer. But as you mentioned, Prince Andrew's Prince Andrew's car crash interview with the BBC Newsnight host has inspired a Hollywood film called Scoop, as you mentioned. Let's take a look.
The story won't be him. It'll be us.
Your Royal Highness. Tomorrow night, in an unprecedented interview, we will hear from the Duke himself.
You know, I thought that all went very well.
All across the world, every paper, on every news channel, this is the story.
Go away!
This is only going to get bigger.
This interview, does it matter?
Yeah, it matters.
Josh, what can we expect from Scoop? Is it going to be as gripping as that interview?
it's actually going to be even more gripping than the interview. I have seen the film. I'm not actually allowed to say too much about it because the embargo for reviews is not quite up just yet. However, I was at the world premiere tonight in London, where the stars of the film walked the red carpet. We saw Gillian Anderson. She plays Emily Maitlis in this. We've got Billie Piper from Doctor Who fame. She plays Sam McAllister, who is the esteemed producer who secured this bombshell interview for BBC Newsnight. We also saw Keely Hawes, who plays Amanda Thirsk, Prince Andrew's private secretary at the time. And we also saw Rufus Sewell, who plays Prince Andrew in this movie as well. And an absolutely, I say this with, and I really mean these words, an absolute bombshell portrayal of Prince Andrew. This film, it is a real nail biter. I can't say too much about it, but what I can say is that there are the approaches that it takes with this. It's quite surprising. It's not necessarily a straightforward approach that you would expect from this film, but the tone is absolutely brilliant. We're reliving it in retrospect, which kind of gives us a whole different angle to it that we may or may not have realized. And we realize also just how shocking it is another time around, the fact that it's being played by such brilliant, talented actors. But it also kind of get the impression of really what Prince Andrew was thinking, and we get a real insight into his personality. Yes, parts of this film are fictionalized, so of course it's not meant to be entirely accurate. It is dramatized. They do take artistic licenses, but we're seeing two sides of the institution. We're getting an insight into the BBC programme that secured this interview and the amazing story of the producer, Sam McAllister, who secured that interview. But we're also getting an insight into the institution, the way in which they look, the way in which they think, the way in which they've interacted with the media, the kind of, again, thinking comm strategy. And we're reliving, as we just saw in the trailer, the fact that Prince Andrew, after that interview, he was absolutely delighted with it. He says, oh, it all went very well. Sam McAllister herself has recounted stories about how straight after the interview, how she spoke to Prince Andrew's equerry, and the equerry said, oh, wasn't he wonderful? And Sam McAllister replied with all sincerity going, yes, he was. Of course, in a completely different way, because he was wonderful in another way. It was a compelling piece of television. And this is, without giving anything away, this is an absolutely compelling, nail-biting, but also an incredibly surprising movie. But again, a movie which might not be necessarily the best movie to be released for the royal family at this time, given the crisis that they're facing. However, I would say this doesn't exactly reveal anything more about Prince Andrew that we didn't know before. There's no entirely bombshell revelations to take from this. But what we do see is an incredible portrayal, incredible actors, telling a side of the story that we might not realize, gaining a new appreciation for the work that went into that interview, whilst also reliving just the absurdity of the things that were said in that interview, from the no sweat to the pizza express and poking, from the unbecoming, bombshell after bombshell after bombshell interview that made front page news across not even just the UK, but across the world.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. It was one of the most compelling interviews of all time. Finally, Josh Rom, we did touch on this, but I'd just love to get a bit more of your thoughts. While the royal family are in this vulnerable position with the health battles of King Charles and Princess Catherine, we've seen Meghan Markle being quite busy promoting her new luxury lifestyle brand. Some are saying she's trying to reinvent herself as a version of Gwyneth Paltrow. Can you talk to us about what Meghan Markle's been up to with her new brand and what she's planning on selling?
So we've heard rumblings of a lifestyle brand relaunch. Of course, she was famous before she married Prince Harry for the TIG back in the day. And I remember watching clips of Meghan Markle on some of the US talk shows, the morning talk shows, where she used to cook up meals from her website. I think this could be a really good thing for Meghan, actually, because I
Okay.
just hope that she doesn't have any subliminal messages where she trashes the royal family ever in subtle ways. That's what I'm not hoping for. Because the thing is, I think we all want, especially in the UK, we just want, if not Meghan and Harry to disappear, we just want them to be happy, to stop trashing the institution again and again and again. So if this is going to make Meghan happy, if this is going to be a way for them to earn money, to pay for the upkeep of their own security out in the States, and if they do not trash the royal family at all in this, I think, well, fair play to you, Meghan. You're just doing you. You're going out there and making a living for yourself away from the royal family. That's great. Maybe involve Prince Harry. Maybe give us insight into what you like away from the spotlights, to what your lives are actually like away from the cameras, aside from just trashing the royal family. I think this could be a good thing, but the timing of it, I think, suggests a number of things, because of course, I think it suggests either two things, because Meghan and Harry, they're reportedly to be out of the royal family. When I say out, as in if you're out of that family, you know you're out. You've been cut off. So we're unsure currently of Meghan and Harry's situation when it comes to communications with his father, the king, and also Prince William and the Princess of Wales, especially with Prince William. It's reported that the brothers still very much have a strained relationship. That's what my sources are also telling me, that their relationship is still incredibly strained. And whilst the king is communicating more with Prince Harry, the same cannot be said for Prince William. So they either could have launched this to take advantage of the royals being in this crisis state that they are, and take advantage of that, and explore that lifestyle option, explore that brand option whilst the royals are facing this. Or this could suggest that actually they always plan to launch it at this time, but it's incredibly bad timing because they're not in communication with the family much at all. They really don't know what's going on. So they launch this at an awkward time for the family. So I think those are the two options that we see from this brand. But this could be a good thing for Meghan Markle, and hopefully this could mean that the Sussexes might go down a more positive direction. Because let's be honest, I know we criticize them, and I think criticize them fairly for their actions, specifically when it relates to the royal family, but actually we all just want the best for them. They are humans at the end of the day, just trying to live their lives, and we all want the best for them. We want them to find peace. So hopefully this, and also, unlike Netflix, unlike Spotify, this is an area in which Meghan Markle has that experience. She's already done this to reasonable success, arguably a bit more successful than her actual acting career. So actually this could be a better move for Meghan, moving down a more positive route.
Josh Rom, brilliant to speak with you. Thank you so much for being so generous with your time as always. We'll speak to you next week.